Okay, Bonnie?
Capital B?
Yes. 2022.
Is that right?
Yes, ma'am, and we're live here on the WTF show.
That's right, we're live.
Yeah.
Reload my page here. We're kind of live.
We're kind of live.
There we go. We're almost live.
We're
Here,
just about
go live.
Bonnie, are you live?
I know. I think I'm half dead. I've been tired lately. I've been crazy. I'm back. I'm getting back to doing things again. It's wearing me out. Hello, everybody. We're welcome to the WTF on KUHSdenver.com. I'm Rhonda Shea, and with me is Henry, the other idiot. It says in my open on the radio feed, idiots, that's plural, are assisting with the broadcast.
What a nice show you've always had. Every other Saturday, Rhonda Shea, and you know, the things that you've been doing in all the different subject lines that you bring in, used to bring in everywhere from, politics to crazy stories to what have you.
Well, we have a lot of fun. Am I live yet?
No. I don't know.
I don't think so. I think I have to go live. Oh, I didn't go live yet. I said welcome, I wasn't even live. I'm doing so good here, I tell you. Welcome to the WTF. I have to repeat it because I wasn't live on the Facebook feed when I thought I was. I'm Rhonda Shea. This is Henry Archuleta, and we're the idiots, as in idiots are assisting with the broadcast, right, Henry?
We were assisting, but
Yeah,
I'm not going to assist you no more, Rhonda.
I
I feel like a real idiot assisting.
You have to be my assistant because I'm too much of an idiot to do it.
I mean, when you talk about idiots, I mean, you got to be assisting people.
You do. So if you're tuning into my feed and there's any kind of weird noise or it's not great, you can go into the station's feed, which is at KUHSdenver.com, and you can pick it up there. On the music side today, I am playing Roadhouse music. How do you like that?
Just listen to it.
It's going to be a big abrupt change from the nice, soft, melodic tones that you had into Rambling Man and Willie, and you know.
Well, Willie Nelson, what's his name? He's going down to Willie Nelson's house. He used to be Barry Fay's right-hand man.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Chuck Morris.
Chuck Morris, and he's going down there to do some things with Willie Nelson. And he has Ratliff, I forgot his first name.
Mm-hmm.
Really good band out of Boulder going down there to play for him.
Oh, because he has a studio down there.
Yes,
Yeah.
So they're going down there for his birthday. And one of his very first gigs that Willie Nelson had was at, if I remember correctly, was at Ebbets Field. I don't know if you remember Ebbets
Oh, yeah,
Field.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so they showed pictures of Ebbets Field, him standing in front of Ebbets Field. But I have a copy of, I think, 3 hours of Ebbets Field music.
Are you serious?
Yes, and I was thinking of playing that.
Is it recorded or is it video?
Well, it's recorded.
Oh, okay.
It's not video per se. Back
Wow.
then, they didn't have real good video
I
quality.
know, that's
so.
why I was wondering.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah,
I have
so-
a copy. It's like, shh.
Used to
Looking
be-
between the
used to be,
pixels.
8mm, and then it went to Super 8. Remember that?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I used Super 8 cameras, and I did capture lots.
I had a lot of
stuff.
I had a Super 8 camera.
Yeah.
They were pretty good when they got small.
Yes.
If you got a really expensive one, they
That's
were
what I did.
well.
I got
Yeah.
3 really small.
I had a really
expensive-
cool one that was out like this, and then I had the first big video camera that sat like on it.
Well, what I did is, I was real good at shoplifting back then.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
good.
so I was able to get me 3 really good cameras. I shouldn't be saying that now. Well, every time I get on the show with you, Rhonda, you get me talking like this.
I know. I don't know what it is.
I know
I bring
what it
out the
is.
worst in
I
people.
had the worst in me. But
I
that's
definitely
good.
do.
That's good for me.
But you know what? Yeah, I remember those old. When it first went to first they had the little film cameras.
Yes,
You know, the old ones years ago. And then they had the big video cameras that were like the size of a TV station camera, and we had one of those. And then I went to the little Super 8s that
I
were
remember,
smaller.
yes.
Those actually did a really good job, especially if you had the accessories for them. But
A fantastic job.
yeah, but my kids, what I did was I took the big giant one and I gave it to my kids, and I just said whenever they were bored, I'd be like, "Go make a movie." But if you tell your children to make a movie, you gotta be careful what you get back. That's all I gotta say. They'll follow you around the house. It was like they had video of me like getting out of a shower screaming.
What are you
like,
doing?
I'm like, God! And then I had editing software at home, and so they were able to do that. And they were like, they would put together the dumbest things you've ever seen.
Some of the coolest things, yeah.
Yeah, some were cool. Some were cool. They used to do the thing where they'd sit in the driveway and pretend they were driving a car, and they'd stop the camera and they'd move forward and stop the camera and move forward. And then when they put it all together, it looked like they were driving down the driveway on their butt, And the other thing I used to give them. The other thing I used to give the kids is my old computers. I would give it to them, and I'd tell them to take them apart and put them back together. Because
Wow.
they're like Legos,
Yes.
and so they would take the cover off, and they'd take out all the boards and all the things. They'd be laying on there, and then they'd try to put it back together and see if it'd work.
Wow.
And I thought it was better than Legos. They learned something that way,
Yeah, that's a good idea to do something like that,
Just let them get it so they're not
Yeah.
afraid of it. Even
Well,
if they don't do anything
I
with
try
it.
to do that now. As you get older, they give me a few things to do in the back. And they gave me a couple of computers to take apart and put back together.
Yeah, I guess you do.
And I try to put it back together. I can't do it.
Yeah, right.
I try.
You're the computer expert. But the funny thing is, like, I always felt that if you gave them something like that, then they wouldn't be afraid of it. They might not ever grow up to be a computer builder or something like that. But I think that's frozen. Is it frozen?
Not down here. It's probably up here.
Okay. So anyway, if you give them something like that,
Oh, I just supposed to click on that.
we don't forget to click on stuff today. If you give them something like that, then they grow up being familiar with it, even if they don't do anything with it as a career. So I just thought that'd be a good idea. So tell me what's been going on this week.
Well, there's been a whole lot of nothing going on.
A whole lot of nothing.
A whole lot of nothing. You know what's really funny? I've been sharing this on all the different shows. This is so funny. Okay, so I get up about 5:30 in the morning, and I put my headsets on, or I just listen to the, things that are coming in on my texting and feeds. And I get this audio text.
I got a breaking news.
Go ahead.
I got to break in.
Go for it.
Naomi Judd. Did you know she passed away?
No.
This just came in 15 minutes ago. Naomi Judd. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear this. Grammy Award-winning duo of the Judds dies at 76.
No, sir.
Well, I believe, didn't she have? Let me see what it
That's
says here.
sad.
I'm just going to read this because this is a big deal. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's sad.
I love the Judds. Naomi Judd, the Kentucky-born singer and Grammy Award-winning duo, the Judds, and the mother of Winona and Ashley Judd, has died she was 76 years old.
Oh, wow.
The daughters announced the death on Saturday in a statement provided to the Associated Press. Oh man, this makes me sad.
That is
Today,
sad.
we sisters experienced a tragedy, the loss of our beautiful mother to disease of mental illness.
Really?
Oh, wow. The statement said, "We are shattered. We are navigating profound grief and know that as we loved her, she was loved by the public, her public.
Wow.
We are in unknown territory." Naomi Judge died near Nashville, Tennessee, said a statement on behalf of her husband and fellow singer Larry Strickland. It said no further details about her death would be released and asked for privacy as the family grieves. The Judds were to be inducted in the Country Music Hall of Fame on Sunday, as
This
they
coming
had
up
just
Sunday.
announced an arena tour to begin this fall.
Wow.
Their tour together, this makes me, I can't even hardly read this. Their first tour together in over a decade. They also made a return to the awards show when they performed at CMT Music Awards earlier this month. Honored to have witnessed Love Can Build a Bridge just a few short weeks ago, said singer Maren Morris, posted on the Twitter this Saturday. This is heartbreaking news. Naomi Judd was one of the sweetest people I've ever known, said Travis Tritt, posted on Twitter, noting that he had been working with the Judds several times on screen and during performances. The mother-daughter performance scored 14 #1 songs in a career that spanned nearly 3 decades. After rising to the top of country music, they called it quits in 1991 that's what I thought, after doctors diagnosed Naomi Judd with hepatitis. So Winona continued her solo career.
Ooh.
So I knew she had hepatitis, and she's lived a long time with it.
Is that what caused the death?
They said mental illness, so I don't know
Would
if
that be
her
like,
disease might have, made her feel. Sometimes when people have long-term diseases like that, mentally they just get over it, and they don't want to live anymore. So maybe that's it.
Or
Who
it could
knows?
be dementia.
Could
or
be
Alzheimer's,
anything.
yeah.
Could have been Alzheimer's. Could have been dementia. Could have been. Well, she just performed. I don't think so.
So
but,
something else.
Yeah. Born Diane Ellen Judge in Ashland, Kentucky, Naomi was working as a nurse in Nashville when she and Winona started singing together professionally. And I think if you've ever seen the movie about their lives, it's worth watching. So it's probably going to be on Netflix or one of those things.
Big time.
Big time.
Mhm.
I'm just going to stop right here. I'm just so sorry.
You've seen that right now.
Yeah, it just came across on my feed, my news AP news feed.
Wow.
So again, Naomi Judge. We can't talk.
Start again.
Naomi Judd, dead at 76.
Wow. You heard it first here on KUHS on the WTF show. And I'm going to add a little something here too. Also passing away, one of the main members of Earth, Wind, and Fire, which was, his name was, there's Daryl Woolfolk, which plays for the drums for Gladys Knight. His brother Andrew Woolfolk, who was the star saxophone player on Reasons and all the different songs. passed away also just this week.
Wow, we're losing a lot. We're losing a lot of those I want to say old time, but I guess we are.
Yes.
Because they're not 20s anymore, the people that were popular when we were younger.
Yeah.
And we're losing a lot of those to various reasons, some to COVID, some to, like we said, other situations.
We may have a memoriam, because we do that for all the big stars.
I think
right?
we should. I think we should put a bunch of music together.
Mhm.
Maybe we should host it together.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And play like all the people that we've lost in the last.
Well, we do that already.
Year.
We do memoriam. We bring the actual family in here.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if you knew that. We do memoriams. And
Oh.
what we do is, and this would be maybe the 14th one, they're allowed to come and use our platform to talk to all the thousands of people around the world, because there's so many, and you can't answer them on emails or on text and all that fast enough. So giving them the platform
That's really
to
nice.
broadcast.
But I think we should do a music show
Sure.
featuring
Yeah,
the
you bet.
music
All the different
of
music, yeah.
people that have passed away in the last, say, 6 months wouldn't be good, but
Yeah.
the last maybe year and a half, or at the end of the year maybe.
Yeah, and so he played with, I forgot what his name, out in Paris. I think he did a round, and they had him come up and do the saxophone solo lead.
Oh, wow.
I mean, he was just a big star.
We've lost some pretty big people. I'm surprised. Naomi Judd was really 76 is relatively young.
Yes,
I mean,
it
it's
is,
not
yeah.
dying young, because that would be, you have to be 50s or something. But it certainly is not living a long life as
That's
a senior.
right. Yeah.
And most people are pretty healthy still at 50s, at 76. But I know she was battling the things that she battled, including mental illness and what is that? I forgot the name of it now. Shoot, I'm stuttering today. I can't even think. But anyway,
And
hepatitis.
that happens, yeah.
Hepatitis.
Mhm, hepatitis.
So anyway, let's get back to the show. Sorry, I
No,
didn't
no,
mean to
no,
interrupt you, but when
no,
I saw
that's not interrupting. That's your show.
It came
It's-
right across the news feed, and I was like, we got to announce this right now. So again, our hearts and sympathies go out to the Judd family.
Okay, 47. I'm going to do
What are you doing
something.
here?
I'm going to reboot this real quick. It takes
That's gonna,
7 seconds.
oh, he's going to reboot. Are we going to lose the show?
No.
You sure?
Yeah, you have the show.
Yeah, what's going to start over though?
At 47. We're going to start at 47.
Oh, okay, good. Then you won't lose it.
No.
Oh, I don't know what Henry's doing. Sometimes he's
well-
too techie. You know.
If we don't reboot it, there's a lot of, we're on to 50 platforms. We added 4 more, and I was going to go over that with you. I was listening
50
to
platforms
yes,
now?
we
Wow.
added the 4 more. Well, we were on 46, and then we added 4 more.
That's
and
awesome.
They come out of Australia. Now, here's what was so
Okay,
interesting.
cranky, mate.
Yeah.
Go put some shrimp on the barbie and invite me down to the
Yeah,
down
so-
under. I'd like to go down under.
They got a hold of me, and they were talking to me about, mate, I'm sorry to tell you, but you're playing the music, and it's kind of coming across really wrong. And I says, I'm listening to him, and I'm trying to figure it out.
And what was it?
And what it was, okay, so now this is going to make you laugh.
Oh no.
Okay, so he says,
It's so hard to make me laugh.
yeah, so he says, one of the mates was telling me that you're playing the show at 5 o'clock, and you should be playing it at 6 o'clock. Well, I was in here at 6 p.m. I put it in there at 6 p.m. I waited till it started at 6
And
p.m.
it's time difference or something.
Of course.
Yeah.
Mountain Standard Time.
Oh yeah.
With spring forward, an hour.
Oh yeah. There you go.
Mountain.
Yeah, Mountain Daylight Time.
Yeah,
right?
well, the savings.
Or savings or whatever
Yeah,
it is. I don't know what they.
Daylight savings time.
Daylight savings time.
And so I tell him, we're on daylight savings time. We moved up an hour just. He
Just to mess up the rest of the world.
I'm so
Yeah.
sorry, mate. I'm so sorry because he was, he was just
all upset. Yeah.
Yeah, he was all upset. Everybody's upset.
Well, that's we just do that to mess up the rest of the world. We like to be on daylight savings time, screw everybody up. What did they vote? Did they vote we're going to stay on it permanently or something?
They're trying to get us off of it and just being on normal.
Yeah, because that's so important. There's
Yeah.
nothing else going on in the country that they need to solve. Let's
It's like this.
let's stay on daylight savings time since we can't pass bills to help people with college debt. We can't build the infrastructure that well. They block everything. We can't we couldn't even agree grass was green, but no, they do this.
It was so interesting too.
Jesus Christ.
It's like you get a blanket, cut a piece off the top, sew it to the bottom. You think you have a longer blanket.
Yeah,
That's what daylight savings time is all.
That's hysterical.
Yeah, that's
Well,
not good.
I was saying that I was reading something interesting from Barry Goldwater. Barry Goldwater was a senator from Illinois, a big Republican.
Yeah.
And he even ran for president at one point. It didn't make the cut, but he started to. And he had written back in the 60s, the late 60s, around the time of Nixon, or in that era there, early 70s. he had written a statement about what was going on in the Republican Party at the time, because the Republicans were courting the Southern Democrats. Because what happened was they weren't winning elections, and they discovered they could never win elections unless they brought the Southern Bloc into the party, because that's old Southern good old boy boss hog Democrats.
Boss
Well, you know,
hog.
they couldn't get past them. Well, of course, when LBJ passed the Civil Rights Bill, these Southern Democrats were mad because they were a bunch of bigots, you know, and so, no, they really were.
Yeah.
And so they...
I lived that day, Ron. I don't think I didn't live that day.
I know you did. And so they were upset, so they left. They didn't really feel like they had a party anymore. Oh, what do you mean we're going to let black people vote? What do you mean we're going to let black people own homes? They might live next door to me, you know, so they didn't like that.
Yeah.
They didn't like that. So they decided, so the Republicans decided to put, that's why they put abortion on the platform to begin with. They didn't really care. They put it on because they thought they could get some of those far-right evangelical Southern people to come on board, in the Midwest people to come on board with the party. So they put that on the platform, and they started courting this. That's when they started using terms like family values, and prior to that, it was Nixon who wanted to be the first president who had said we needed a public health care system. We would have had a national health care system if Nixon would have been able to put that through. So they were the first people to address the issue of health insurance, that it should be a national thing provided by the government. And so prior to that, the Republicans really had a lot of programs that were more in line with not socialism, and there's a difference for the ignorant people that don't know that. Socialism programs like community socialism, like fire, police, health, those are things that are social programs. So anyway, Goldwater wrote a statement, which I thought was really interesting, and he made it to the Republican convention, not the convention as whole, but their smaller convention, not the one that the public goes to. And it was recently put out that said the biggest mistake the Republican Party can make is invite the Christians in. And once they open the door, if they ever take over the party, our government is doomed. And the reason he said it was because when people are religious like that, when they're going in as religious zealots, they can't compromise because they believe they're doing God's work.
Wow.
So they cannot compromise, and our government system is based on compromising. So the second we get these, we bring in this far group of what I will call today alt-right into the party, he basically stated that would be the loss of the party and into the demise of the country. And that is exactly what's happening, because freedom of religion was founded for two reasons. First, for the public, so you couldn't be denied your right to worship in a way that you want to worship and protect that right. And second, for the government, so that no religious entity could take over the government and run the government based on religious law.
Wow.
And that's what's happening right now. It's like Sharia law, but it's for the Christians. And they're really coming in and they're doing things that would be very similar to Sharia law. You know, you have to worship this way. You can't teach this. You can't read this book. You can't do this. You can't do that. You know.
What's the purpose of all that?
Well, the purpose of all of that, I believe, is because exactly what Goldwater said. They believe that they're doing God's work, and so they can't compromise. I mean, and even Jesus said, "Give to Caesar what's Caesar's." You know, separate that. It really belongs separated. But it doesn't say that we. And when they say we're a Christian nation, we're not a Christian nation. We were founded on freedom of religion. Just because some of the people, not all of them, some of the people were Christian that did that, doesn't mean that we're a Christian nation. It means that we're a nation that respects your right to be a Christian. No.
I'm with you.
You know, and so that's kind of what was going on. Oh, there's Deborah. Hi, Deborah. She went to college with me, and I remember that. Deb, I don't know if you remember this. I'm going to tell you the funniest radio story in the world. I think it was you. It's been so many years, but we both were in communications, and we were at the college and at the radio station. I think Debbie was on the air, and something happened, and she flipped. Her chair kind of fell, and then I think we said a really bad word. If I remember, somebody said it. I might have said it. She might have said, "Oh shit," or "Oh f" or something. And then we tried to get up, and we tripped on each other. And finally, I think one of us shoved the card in that said, "Students are now assisting with the broadcast." And then the guy that was in charge, the professor that was in charge of the studio, you could see him coming down the hall. His face was all red. Steam was coming out of his ears. Running down that hall, was so mad at us. And we got out of there, laughed and laughed. I think it was Deb, if I'm not mistaken. And but anyway, it was really fun. So that was my. It was a mess. At that time, you had the turntables. You had the back time and all that. And I think it went. It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. But anyway, so the problem isn't against Christians. Don't get me wrong. I am one. I believe in Jesus and I believe in God. But I also believe in other people's right not to believe.
Right.
and not to force it on them. I don't think that's the way it happens, and I don't think that that's good. So the reality is that, you know, what he was getting to wasn't the fact that Christians are bad, it was the fact that infusing religion with politics is bad. And that's what we're seeing today. That infusion needs to go away. You know?
Right. Isn't religion just like politics?
Well, it is in its own way, but that particular type of politics needs to stay out of religion. Especially, I mean, some churches, absolutely, they're all political.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a church? There's
Yes.
all the hierarchy, and there's the people that do the stuff, and the people that gossip about the people that aren't doing the stuff, and, you know, it's...
And the ones having affairs in the back.
and all the people
the
having
priests
affairs with each
little-
other, and,
the little
yeah,
altar boys
it's like
and
its own little sin city. Yeah, yeah, it's, yeah, and then that whole scandal. But,
That
yeah.
whole scandal. You know, it's like, you wonder, where did they come up with all that money to do payouts?
Well, it's from all the people giving their, you know, the widow's mite to the church, and then they end up paying it out in lawsuits. That's when I'm not opposed to the Catholic Church. It's not the way I choose to worship anymore. I was raised Catholic. I worked at Regis University. I went to Catholic school when I was younger. But what I am opposed to is donating money to an organization that doesn't need it, number one, and number two, spends millions and millions of dollars paying out victims, and they should pay the victims, but they shouldn't have done what they did with those priests. I mean, the problem wasn't, I mean, everybody's got bad people. It doesn't make a whole organization bad. You're going to have a few bad apples, right?
There was thousands of them.
Well, because how they handled the situation, how they would take the people, the priests, and they would move them from parish to parish to parish and not turn them into the police and not prosecute them, then word gets around. You know, those other pedophiles like, oh, look, they got away with it. Maybe I should just be a priest and they'll never arrest me. No, I mean, seriously,
No,
it
we
creates
have
its own
that.
subculture.
Yeah.
And that's what happened, and that's what's so bad, is it created that whole subculture. And so that's where it became an issue, I think,
Yes.
is how they handled it. Not that everybody's got problems. You can't know everything everybody's going to do. You're going to have a bunch of idiots in places and bad people. But it's how you handle it when you find out about it. That was the mistake. And Deb said, have a great summer. And I'm going to tell you, have a great summer, too. I hope you're still on. Anyway.
Weren't you going to do something this summer, Rhonda?
I'm going to Mexico.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
And you find you a cute little pool boy?
Well, my husband's with me, so I can't.
What's that? Wait, let's start over. You're going to find you a cool...
I'd like
cute,
to, but my
little-
husband's with me.
One more time. You're going to find you a
Okay,
cute...
yes. Hey, oh, hey boy, can you put some lotion on my back? We're going to Paradise Valley or Village or something.
Some lotion
That's gonna
on
be
my
fun.
back.
I've never seen a good-looking pool boy. I mean, you always see
Oh,
them
you're right.
in movies. You see
Okay.
them. You see them on pictures.
You like
but in
Patrick
real life,
Swayze?
my friends that have had pool boys, they come in there like these zit-faced 12-year-olds. Like, where's the 32-year-old bodybuilder? Pool boy? I don't want you. I don't want the high school
Right.
16-year-old. Go, shoot.
Call the fire department just to see all the firemen.
Oh, my mother used to love that. She would, you know, when she was about ready to kick the bucket, she would have problems. We have to call the fire department all the time. And I swore, I said, I think you're doing it because they're cute. She said, well, they are.
They are.
It was so funny. But, oh, my goodness. I got some fun news. I'm going to tell you some fun news stories that I learned today. And as a matter of fact, I may have to read them because they're beyond, they're just beyond. Okay?
They're beyond. They're
Yes,
beyond
they're
safe.
absolutely nuts. So let me see if I can find it. This is a good one. Lost for decades. If you're a Wizard of Oz fan, you're going to love this story. And if you have a bucket of money, you're going to love this story. What happened was, one of the most recognizable outfits in all of movies, the history of movies, is the blue and white dress that Dorothy wore in The Wizard of Oz, right?
Oh, yeah.
So one version of that dress, there were several of them because they change them even though they look the same, was donated to a Catholic university, to a student in the drama department to use in their costumes. And it was the Catholic University of America. And I guess it had been lost for decades. It was donated in the early 70s from somebody.
Mhm.
And so anyway, it was lost forever. And they were cleaning out some backstage areas in the university. You know how the theater stuff, they never clean out. It stays there forever. And somebody opened a shoebox and found this dress, and it was the dress from Wizard of Oz.
Wow.
So they're putting it on the auction block, and they expect that it will go for hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not $1 million.
Why?
And so, probably the estimate is $800,000 to $2 million will be asked for the dress.
Wow.
And it'll help the school, obviously. But they ought to give the money to the theater department. They're probably going to put it in the theater department, is is what my guess is. But can you imagine? I don't find anything in old shoe boxes. It's like I open them up and there's like receipts from 1918. You know.
You know how you're saying that? There's this guy who, he was, this guy was hired to clean out this big old, I think it was a big old garage, and he found all these paintings.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh
I
my
actually
God!
talked about it. Yeah.
He looked it up, couldn't find it, and finally found something.
Yeah, it was like millions of dollars.
Found the book on it, millions. And
yeah, it's a famous American painter that studied in Paris.
Yes.
And kept his work stored in a
trash bin kind of.
Trash bin in an old barn.
Yes.
Yeah. I bought the trash bin because there was other stuff in it.
Yeah.
Got all this stuff. It's pretty cool.
Jesus.
That never happens to me. If I buy a trash bin, I get a disease in trash. That's it. You know, it's like, okay.
I'm done, huh?
So here's another one. I love this one. This is probably my favorite story. And I'm just going to read it because it's too good to be true, and I might skip around a little bit. An Ohio school board outside of Cincinnati voted during an emergency meeting on Wednesday to censure a member who said she accidentally posted a link to a pornography site on her campaign's Facebook page.
Oh my God.
So here's the real truth of this matter. Her name is Boddy, or Bodie, probably B-O-D-D-Y, so probably
Yeah,
Bodie. Was elected in November on a platform opposing the teaching of mask mandates, critical race theory, Black Lives Matter, the 1619 Project, which was the New York Times Magazine issue about the history of slavery in America. It's nothing more than that, folks. Okay, it's nothing more. It's nothing secret. And critical race theory isn't taught in school.
What's critical race theory?
It is what they taught in Harvard Law School.
That's something they made up.
No, it's critical race theory is a Harvard Law School course where they teach you about systemic racism and how it looks so as they went out to be public defenders and public leaders, they'd have some awareness to it. It's never been taught ever, not once, ever, in any kind of elementary school or anything like that. It hasn't ever been taught there in our school system. But the Republicans lashed onto it because they know there's a lot of bigots that are Republicans.
Yes,
otherwise they wouldn't care. And they started making this big deal like they're teaching students to hate being white, and they're teaching, and it's not happening. And so they're trying to ban the history that they don't want put forth. And history is history, and if we ban it, we don't learn from it. And so I wasn't alive, and I have no responsibility for slavery, absolutely none, and I know that. But I do have a responsibility going forward on how I'm going to act and how I'm going to behave. And this gives us a platform to understand where some of the cultures and some of the mores of society have come from. That's all it is, and they don't even teach it in elementary school. So it's like, give me a break. You know, so anyway, she was elected because she's obviously a bigot. She didn't like 1619, she doesn't like critical race theory, she doesn't like Black Lives Matter, she doesn't, you know. So this piece of shit bigot, which is what she is, her name is Bodie, posts on her website a link to what she said is, this is what they're teaching in sex education in school. And it was a link to a porn site. My guess is it was not a mistake. She did it on purpose to try to perpetuate a lie and get that base going, that Trumplican base, you know, that gets all worked up over stuff, and they start grabbing onto it. So my guess is she put that on there on purpose and then said it was a mistake when she got, you know, caught. They called for a resignation. So hopefully she won't get reelected. It'll be bye-bye Bodie.
Bye-bye Birdie. Right?
Yeah, bye-bye Bodie, bye-bye. But anyway, so I thought that was...
How do these people make it and get into these...
Well, sometimes people don't run against them. Like Woodward and Marjorie Taylor Greene had no opponents.
They didn't?
No.
I did not know that.
And so if they have an opponent, with a legitimate Republican opponent, then hopefully they can unseat them, because there's nothing wrong with the traditional Republican Party. It's this crazy people that have taken it over that make it wrong.
It's crazy.
Then there's another one down here that was kind of interesting. It was a woman. Oh God, this is this is so gross. It's the grossest thing I've ever read. So here we go. I can't wait. A woman who accidentally dropped her cell phone in a hole in an outhouse at a national forest fell in when trying to retrieve it and had to be rescued by firefighters.
Oh my God. There's the firefighters.
Oh God. So the fire department comes out. The woman's been stuck in the hole. I guess she finally felt around and got her phone. You know, moved around in the, you know what, and got her phone out of the waste and was in there dripping with waste because she fell in head first. My God. And she managed to get a signal out. The fire department comes, finds her. They had to throw blocks, cinder blocks down there, so she could stand on them, so she could reach the harness, so they could pull her out. So she was basically buried in shit.
Oh my God.
I mean, oh my God. The woman was alone, and she tried for 10 or 15 minutes to get out of there. They finally pulled her out. They hosed her off really good, and they said she should go for medical treatment because human waste is not, you know, it's very germy and icky. And she said no, she just wanted to go home. She's going to clean off there. So, my God, how was your day?
Wow.
That's pretty crappy.
It was pretty crappy.
That's the crappiest day ever. That should be like win an award for the crappiest day. I can't imagine falling.
Oh,
I mean, it's hard. I almost throw up going in one when you're not, if you have to use it.
I used to have, every now and then, we used to have a septic tank, and every now and then I'd watch the guys. There was a guy who came and emptied the tank, with his big truck. I never understood how a man can go in there with a big old suction thing and stick it down in there and suck all that stuff up. And it stunk like hell.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Hey, Michelle's on here. She said hi.
Hi, Michelle.
But anyway, yeah, it stunk like heck, didn't it?
Oh,
it's like, I don't know how they do those jobs.
I don't either. Some of these jobs they do, and that was one of those kind of jobs where his day is full of shit.
All right, here's a good one. All right, I'm going to switch subjects. We're going to get off the poop topic. No more poop.
You're always talking shit, though.
Always talking shit. Okay. Oh, Sue Weaver's on. Say hi, Sue.
Hi, Sue. How are you?
She's in Florida. Disney's going to take, I'm going to tell you, Sue, you probably know this, but those people in Florida are in for so much trouble. Disney is going to take Tinkerbell's magic wand and shove it right up Florida's, where the sun don't shine. I mean, I just think, their income is worth more than the gross national product of most of those states.
I know.
It's like, yeah, right, you're going to, and so anyway, that's another whole story, but that'll be interesting to see because the Florida taxpayers are going to be on the hook for $1 billion plus for the bond and then when they have to put in new fire departments and new police departments and do all the roads and take care of all the things around Disney, that's going to fall on those two counties, if not the whole state of Florida. So get ready for your taxes to go up. Anyway, she said, that's disgusting. Did her phone work afterwards? Yes, actually the phone worked, but it was kind of spotty. Kind of crappy.
It was crappy, working crappy.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Oh, yuck. Okay, so anyway, here's a better story. Florida, another Florida story. Florida bride, caterer, served marijuana laced food at the wedding.
Oh my God.
A 42-year-old Florida bride and her 31-year-old caterer are accused of serving food laced with marijuana to unsuspecting guests at a wedding. That's probably the only fun wedding anybody ever went to.
Yeah, I would like that. Laced with food with marijuana.
Yeah, okay.
Good.
They're probably hoping they get a lot more money for the money dance. Oh, I don't care. I'm just gonna do it. That's why you have an open bar, so when the money dance comes along, people don't think about how much they're giving you. Sue says she can't wait to see for DeSantis to see the fallout. Yeah, he's Death Santis, as we call him here.
DeSantis.
But yeah, that's true. That's going to be interesting. I feel bad because most people in Florida are good people, but they're making some pretty dumb decisions, and it's in the Florida Constitution that if they disband a special district, the state has to assume all the debt and all the bond debt.
And there's a lot of bond debt
and there's a lot of bond debt. There's a lot of, that the investors in Disney have been putting in for a long time. I have some of it.
Yeah.
And so that's going to end up getting paid off, and the people of Florida are going to be the ones paying me. So thank you. Anyway, so they served this wedding, and they were arrested following investigation by the Seminole County Sheriff's Office. According to court records, both women were charged with tampering, negligence, and delivery of marijuana. And they were later bonded out of jail. I guess her new husband probably bonded her out. Can you imagine that? You're like, you just been married 2 days, your wife's arrested. Why was she arrested? She put marijuana in all the brownies at the wedding. I hope he likes pop brownies or something, because he's going to be in for a world of hurt. He better get that annulled right now.
Annulled.
They said the guests had not been warned about the laced food. One man told deputies he was having a hard time opening his cell phone. Opening! Okay, must have been an old person, because who opens their cell phone? It's like this now, right? So he's going, a flip phone.
Hey, they make some really nice. Have you seen the new flip phones?
Oh yeah, those are cool.
So that's probably what he had.
Maybe, but it's Florida. I mean, it could have been a bunch of 90-year-olds. Okay.
Some of these 90-year-olds can really go through those phones.
I know it. So anyway, samples of food, including chocolate-covered strawberries, pudding-shot desserts, and lasagna were collected, and they all had